There are many reasons why media literacy education should be included in the context of elementary and secondary education. First of all, if literacy is expanding to include digital tools and technologies and forms of expression, then simply in order to create a knowledge economy, simply in order to create an information society, media literacy needs to be part of the curriculum.
We
can't talk of a person being literate if he or she is not multiple literate. We can't talk of cultural subsistence if the person does not have the media knowledge that will allow him or her to survive in a mediatized culture such as ours. Media has always been a gigantic mechanism that manufactures and structures realities and repeatedly brings them back to the table, instead of functioning as a mirror of the society.
Toda educación tiene que ser contextualizada.
All education needs to be contextualized, and since in our culture most of the information is being transmitted through audiovisual languages, the education systems from primary to college must change and include audiovisual media education.
Tienen que prever que la educación tiene que cambiar y tiene que integrar los medios audiovisuales.
MySpace, do YouTube, onde as pessoas se exprimem,
MySpace, YouTube, they express themselves and create their own tribes, their own groups. And there you can also find new languages that we as adults and educators should also learn. There is something genuine and natural coming out of the youngsters there. In the measure that we work on media literacy education in the schools, we need to recognize that these languages are the result of human creativity. These languages can positively transform the value systems and the knowledge in our schools. Our children and teenagers are surrounded by screens, surrounded by media. Their lives develops through these media, television, internet, video games, cellular phones, etc. The screen is here, and the school must address the situation. Obviously, the best vehicle to address this issue are the educators. The schools are falling behind in relation to the speed of communication and information that the world is giving to our youth, and the role that the school is playing, providing tools for knowledge, development, and formation. The effort to develop media literacy, we must understand that each medium is a language, and in order to establish a balanced relation with each of them, we need to know the codes, the grammar, the different types of camera framing, of camera angle, of movement, etc., that will allow us to better understand the image and eventually produce our own images.
Citizenship education really is incredibly enhanced when we incorporate media literacy education into it, because in fact the ability to analyze and evaluate the competing sources of information and the competing points of view that come to us from the wide diversity of messages that we get access to, that's an essential skill for promoting decision making in terms of one's personal life, one's social life, one's political life, and in fact the health of the culture, the nation, and the world.
To work with the media, it's not an option today, it's a necessity. It's through media literacy that one can develop an intelligent language. Media literacy education is a challenge to all the institutions, to all the citizens of the world. It's a challenge that ultimately will increase democracy and tolerance around the world. It is an approach to education that is not only about the tools of the new technologies, but also hands-on experience that enhances the development of critical approaches and generates the use of technology not only as consumers, but also as active citizens.
Yo veo esto como un nuevo derecho y que por lo tanto exige
I see this as a new right, which therefore generates new responsibilities on the part of governments, the international organizations, such as the UN, but also of UNESCO and UNICEF, and all the other organizations, national and international, that will move forward, ensuring that media will serve towards the education and the culture of all the people, especially with regards to children and youth.
A la educación y a la cultura de los pueblos, sobre todo mirando hacia la infancia y a la juventud.